How's it going, everybody? Today we're here to talk about episodes 4 and 5 of Peacemaker Season 2. But before we get into that, please consider that like button, subscribe to the channel. We're trying to hit 1,000 subs before the end of the year. We just need your help, and I appreciate you guys as always. But getting into the episodes as a whole, last week I was feeling a little under the weather, so I wasn't even really talking about episode 4. But for the most part, I did really enjoy episode 4. We got some backstory in the portal, how Peacemaker and his father came into contact with it, how they got that technology, and honestly, that's a plot point I never even thought about. So it was really cool to see that. We got to see the origin of the portal, and it's just this little, metal helmet thing that looks like a Peacemaker helmet that opens up the portal into a doorway. And I thought at first we were going to have a Weasel cameo with the creature that was holding it when they killed it, but no, it was just some weird alien creature that happened to come out of the portal. So I really like that aspect of episode 4. And then, of course, we got more of Chris going to, the cabin to, relocate it because Argus is coming to the house to try to steal it from them, and he manages to escape. And we learn about some cabin that he had when he was a child, and that's where the new portal is stationed at. So that's pretty much the most of what happened with episode 4. And again, I really like it. The story itself is just, it's just a strong story. It's very character based and character driven. Like, we're getting a lot more Chris, more so than Peacemaker. So like, what I mean by that more, he's not really actually in his suit a lot. And normally with like Marvel shows and stuff, we would complain about that, but for this one, I'm kind of cool with it because like it's more character focused. Like, I'm invested in Chris as a character, not just when he's Peacemaker, but as Chris. So I'm okay with it, and I think that's the issue that we've had with a few of the Marvel Disney Plus shows, where it's just kind of like for Moon Knight, for example, like that show had a lot of potential, and I did like it for the most part, but I wasn't really like drawn to like Mark Spector and stuff, and I wanted just to see more Moon Knight kicking ass and stuff. Versus this one, I'm actually very intrigued and really into Chris as a character, so I don't mind it not being so much punchy, him in the suit doing his thing. So I like it. I think the story's doing great, and then of course we get into episode 5, and he's trying to, communicate with Harcourt that see if her feelings for him are true or not before he decides to make the decision just to go ahead and live in the new dimension so he can live with his father, his brother, and the variant of Harcourt that actually cares about him. So he kind of wanted to, track back a little bit to see if she actually had any feelings for him. I feel like she does, but she's playing that typical badass, like she doesn't want to admit her feelings type of deal. And she breaks his heart again, so he's like, you know what, screw it. He's going to go live in the other universe. But before we get into that, we finally get, the conflict between Sir Rick and, Peacemaker. He's confronting Peacemaker for killing his son, and again, I like that. It was this one of those moments of the show that we were leading up to, and I was very excited. It was very satisfying. I thought it was, nice that Chris wasn't fighting back. Peacemaker did not fight back. He just let him pretty much get the crap beat out of him, and because he completely understood why he killed this man's son, and he just accepted it, and he's like, he owned it, basically. He's like, I'm not going to fight back. I own this. So I like that scene. It was very brutal. You can see, just the hurt and like how much, like, you could just see in Rick's face, like, it's been leading up for that moment. Everything he's been doing, he's saying it's for the United States and to prevent another LexCorp situation like in Superman, but he wanted to kill Peacemaker, and he obviously didn't get to do that in this episode, but he got to lay a few on him, so that was nice. And then of course we get the flashback sequence in the beginning of the episode of Rick Flag Jr., his funeral, talking about the events of the Suicide Squad with Project Starfish, which I like that they're actually acknowledging that yes, that is canon, because originally that was part of the whole Snyderverse or whatever, the old DC universe, but now no, the Suicide Squad movie is canon, so that has me thinking if Harley Quinn is going to be by Margot Robbie or not. That's yet to be determined, but I like that they're kind of bringing it back and tying it all together. But this episode, it was a very heartfelt episode. Chris was trying to figure out if Harcourt actually cares about him, and he got his heart broken, and then Rick Flag Sr. finally got his hands on Peacemaker, and it was just a very heartfelt episode. And they freaking got me with the Eagly scene. I thought Homeboy actually killed Eagly there for a second. I jumped in my seat and I was like, oh hell no! But it was a beautiful sight to see all those eagles come out and completely tear this man a new one. And Eagly is the king of the Eagles or whatever it's called. Like, Eagly is that boy, and I love that. Eagly is probably easily my favorite character so far, aside from like Chris and stuff. I love Eagly, so I like that aspect of it a lot. And of course now we're finally towards the back half of the series. All the big shots like Brennan Davis, Coy, Real Rejects, all of them. They got to see the episodes previously before it came out. They got the first 5. James Gunn did not give them the 6, 7, and 8 because there's too many big reveals in there, and they didn't want to spoil it for anybody. Now, common sense, Superman's probably going to pop up in this. If that's the big cameo, that's kind of disappointing because that's what we're expecting for the most part. So I was expecting something bigger, like maybe the Batman reveal, like who's playing Batman, since there's been so many Gotham Easter eggs, or maybe even we finally get to see. Nobody's talked about this, mentioned this, but we got Rick Flag Senior. So I'm like, what if we get the live action Creature Commandos? What if they pop up in this? We get to see David Harbour as Frankenstein. Like, what if we get to see that? What if that's the bigger? I think that'd be awesome because I think Creature Commando was a great show, and I'm hoping that they kind of, since it is canon to everything, I hope they bring that to live action. It would be really cool to see all those characters. So maybe we get to see the live action version of those in the towards the finale of Peacemaker season 2. Who knows? But that's kind of my guess because they're making it out to be a big deal, and it has big repercussions for the future of the DC. So obviously other big things are gonna happen outside of cameos. But as far as big cameos go, I'm betting on a potential Batman reveal about who's Batman in the DC universe, or like live action Creature Commandos. I thought that'd be really cool. But guys, overall, I'm really enjoying this show. I really like Peacemaker season 1, but I think this one is subpar, like so much better than season 1. And again, that's not dogging on season 1. This is just a really good season. I love the direction they're going with it. I mean, if you would have asked me 3-4 years ago, a Peacemaker show, like I wouldn't give a crap about Peacemaker, but John Cena is bringing it. He is making this character so lovable, and I'm very invested into the character, and I'm excited to see how this season as a whole is going to wrap up. But now I want to hear from you guys down in the comments. How did you feel about episodes 4 and 5 of Peacemaker season 2? Do you guys like it as much as I did? Are you guys skeptical about it? Who do you think is going to be the cameo? And don't you think it'd be cool if we got to see live action Creatures Commando? Let me know down in the comments. And as always, I appreciate you guys taking the time to check out this video, and I'll see you guys in the next video.